All right, Mike Brenner, next segment for the Odds Couple Sports Betting Show for Thursday, August 25th is Week 1 games in the SEC. We got a ton of games with lines here. A bunch of them we've already discussed. In fact, many of them we've already discussed, most of them actually. I know you've got some strong opinions on a bunch of these, which you've already broken down in previous videos. The first one is you are all over UNC, or you were against Georgia. You still feel that way?
Pete, I'm telling you right now, I'm so fired up for this football. When you talk about SEC, I'm just going to say this politely. It's lucky you're not wearing a football jersey today, representing one of them teams, because I would tackle you right off that chair. Right. Swear to God, I'm fired up. All right, yes, I am. There's no reason to change from that. Again, Georgia, great coach, Kirby Smart, takes time. He's picking up a mess people think was left. Oh, this is a great team. I'll tell you, Mark Richt, he left Georgia in just a shambles, and they got a lot of guys leaving. Kirby Smart's a defensive guy. It takes time, so he's not going to be concentrating on the offense. He's going to be putting that off to somebody else. You know what? Georgia giving points to North Carolina, quietly ranked, quietly 19 starters back, Pete, quietly very well coached. I love this. All right, again, I'm not putting that as official pick until it's time to pull that trigger, baby, because anything can change. But right now, compared to when we did this, another video on this back then, nothing has changed. I think it still remains the same, and I love it.
All right, and the top pick that I'm looking at is also one that we've discussed before. I have actually bet this already, and it's Texas A&M -3 over UCLA. UCLA is a fine team. I'm not sure they're going to be ready to go, playing at an elite level here in Week 1. And I like what Texas A&M is doing. The improvement on defense under Chavis, I think, is might be a little bit under the radar, and I think their offense will be in full gear here. I bet it -3, and I'd like it at -3, and a little bit on the money line as well at about -150, 160, whatever you can get. You agree with that, Mike Brenner?
I really do, and here's the thing: coaching. All right, Jim Mora Jr. He's not one of them elite great coaches. He's had NFL experience, but he's a good enough coach that when he has a team coming back with some veterans and a guy named Josh Rosen, this quarterback's going to make some noise. I think he's going to be his game plan will be more well equipped than Texas A&M, because that guy's still cleaning up. They're still sweeping Johnny Manziel's shit out the back door. For real, they really are, Pete, and it goes a long way. I think this is definitely one of those opportunities where you got to grab it. I love it. I could never think about chalking you off the ledge, because after we broke down the first video with this, I put a play in myself because of what you told me. So, yeah.
All right, so we got a bunch of other games, a bunch of other big high-profile games. What else would you like to bring to our attention?
Well, there's a couple that are, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to put any type of leans or plays out, because I'm going to let you wait, because there's some in there, I'm telling you, they're just gold. But there's that one that I think is interesting also, West Virginia at home against Missouri. Yeah, I like that. I like West Virginia. I really do. They're tough on their own turf. But that, and I think LSU is going to really show Week 1, even though they're at home, got a Wisconsin team who's rebuilding, coming in, but LSU is going to show if they are capable of holding all these expectations. Pete,
yeah, that line has gotten bet down to plus 9.5 for Wisconsin, down from 10.5 recently. So you're leaning what? You're leaning LSU -9.5 there, or Wisconsin?
Well, no, on a lean, I would say maybe Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't know. I think LSU is going to do what Oklahoma does a lot when they're expected to achieve. All right, they sometimes underachieve. I think that's going to be the pattern, because Les Miles, he's just not that good coach.
Now, another interesting game that has seen line movement: Appalachian State at Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, of course, it's an up year for Tennessee. We've discussed that. Will they live up to expectations? Maybe, maybe not. It's also a very up year for Appalachian State from the Sun Belt. They're coming off a great season, and a lot of the pieces are returning. So for a Sun Belt team, they're an elite Sun Belt team this year, and the line has gotten bet down. It got bet down across 21. Yeah. I'm wondering though if this might not be very similar to their Clemson game last year. It's got an identical total of 57.5 and a very similar spread of -20.5. And of course, Appalachian State a great year last year, but they got beat down at Clemson 41-10. So maybe maybe Tennessee will actually be worth a bet here. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that one?
I do, and I like that you brought this game up. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Appalachian State, I did a video with Drew Martin a couple weeks ago. We broke it down pretty home. This is a team that's got some potential in there.
Oh, sure.
Very well coached. And one of our buddies here, one of my bosses up here, one of my best friends too, he's from Appalachian State, so he'll be the first one to say, you're damn right they're good. But here's the thing. I really think this is one of those teams you take and put them on a teaser, Pete. If you take Appalachian State, getting those points, add 7 or 10 to it, depending on what route you're going, I think that's not a lock, but I think that's a very secure bet. Now, Week 1, because of what's going on, yes, I would take a shot and throw a little bit on the underdog. I really would. I like it.
Appalachian State.
I
Okay,
really
yeah,
would.
it's an interesting game.
Because Tennessee, they're good, very well coached. I'm telling you, Butch Davis got these guys ready
Sure.
to play, but they might be overlooking this team because they know they're expected to do a hell of a lot in the SEC. They might be overlooking this team.
Sure. All right, and then we know you like Clemson at -7. You still like them at Auburn?
Yeah, I've got some things going on with that, but I'll tune you in later on.
Okay,
But yeah,
and then
there's
USC.
that factor, baby. You got to come back.
Yeah, and then USC, Alabama. In general, I'm high on USC this year from an ATS perspective. I think they might be undervalued, maybe significantly undervalued, but Alabama, as always, when they're going up against another elite team as a big favorite.
I hear it. There's that train running down the track.
I
It's
don't
call
know.
Alabama Pistol
Yeah,
Pete.
so you
My
like
God,
Alabama
conductor,
-10.5
Nick
here?
Saban, he's the conductor of that
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
I'm not going to pull any triggers. I'm not even going to talk about that game because I
Right.
got some interesting facts for both of those that
All
you
right.
just brought up. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Then one other game I do want to mention, I'm not sure what I think about it as yet, but I've already mentioned that I think Vanderbilt is going to be a little bit undervalued. Maybe undervalued. They're definitely going to be improved. Their defense might go from good to great. Their offense might be significantly improved with a quarterback who finally isn't horrible, an offensive line that's beefed up, and some tight ends. They might start to resemble Stanford's method of success a little bit.
Sure.
They're given 3 or 3.5 though to South Carolina, and South Carolina is starting over with Muschamp. They're in a down year, rebuilding year, but they've still got South Carolina caliber talent, and he's already started to recruit great pieces, especially on defense. So I'm not sure what I think about Vandy given that many points to South Carolina, but in general, I'm high on Vanderbilt here, and I would be leaning to them at -3, not a 3.5 though.
I think
What do
it's
you
a great breakdown.
Yeah.
Wouldn't talk you off the ledge. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I've seen this because I've done some research on Vandy, and there's some of our contributors at SBR that have done some articles on it. And you know what? They're all thinking this is the same Vandy team from last year. I know. They're thinking, you know what? It's Vandy. Mark that on the schedule as a win. Well, you're not going to be an SEC school, all right, or you're not going to be coaching a school if you don't improve after a shitty season. So I think if anything, this team's got to be better. Here's the kicker. Even though there's still some residual effects and some residual picks from Steve Spurrier, bringing kids up from school, all right, high school, because he's gone now. That team is a mess right now. They got a lot of work to do, and they're bringing in a guy, Will Muschamp. No disrespect, but this guy had a head coaching job at Florida and could not get it done. All right. I'm surprised he's getting another shot in the SEC, but it's going to take him some time. I love that play.
Yeah,
I love that play.
But Vandy also did get last year a couple of SEC wins.
Yes,
they beat
they
Missouri,
did.
They beat Kentucky, and they played Florida really close. So,
Exactly.
All right, but let's wrap it up. Overall, my top play as of right now would be Texas A&M -3, and your top play would be?
I'm taking UCLA.
Okay. Are you really?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
I'm
Go ahead,
taking
seriously.
UCLA.
Go ahead. What's your top play? Seriously.
UCLA +3.
That's your top play?
That's my top play. Well, the other stuff, I'm not going to put it out until the time, but for what we discussed today, I like UCLA. I think they're more well-equipped. I said that. Yeah, I thought you liked UCLA. You like A&M with the given points?
Yeah. Weren't we just talking about Texas A&M and UCLA, and I said I like Texas A&M, and you said you agreed with me?
No, but I thought you said you were taking UCLA, though, because of the break. No, I don't agree with none of that. You saw what I broke it down. I think they're more well-equipped for week 1 Johnny Manziel mess. So if that was a misunderstanding, I'll take my part on that, Pistol Pete.
Okay, all right,
We don't have a lot of arguments, but you know what? I think you're right in this one. But my pick was definitely UCLA, and I'm going to put that up there as my top pick. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So we're
my
going
top
against
lean.
each
It's
other.
not a pick.
I'm on Texas
Yep.
A&M -3. You're on UCLA +3.
I love it.
Sounds good, Mike.
You're going to have to pay for this beer this time.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.